Diddy being found not guilty on federal racketeering trafficking charges is not proof the justice system finally did right by black men. It's proof that power protects power even when it's wearing black skin.
The Diddy case has taken a different tone, and this is getting people talking. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So we all know that the Diddy case has taken a different turn, and everybody's talking about it. Literally, like, everybody's talking about it. And if you don't know, the Diddy trial is still on, and now the jury has released their verdict, and they are finding him not guilty for 3 of the crimes that he was accused of out of the 5. And this has gotten a lot of people talking, because now there are people actively now supporting Diddy and seeking for him to be released, and like talking about how being a freak does not make you a criminal, how Diddy is innocent. And even his lawyers they made a petition for him to be released, but it just came that the court did not grant that release. But yet even some celebrities now are speaking up and talking about how being freaky does not mean you're innocent, reminding you that there are a lot of video evidence, a lot of witnesses that speak on a lot of things that happen and Diddy has done to them, and yet a lot it's most likely that he might just walk away with a little or no sentence. And this has gotten people talking. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this Diddy case so far and the turn that it has taken. What are your own take on it? Let's go check out people's reaction to this, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Now, the jury finally reaches a verdict in Diddy's 5-count trial, and yeah, the verdict was split. Now, on count 1, he was found not guilty. On trafficking of Cassie Ventura, he was found not guilty. On transportation of a he was found guilty. On the trafficking of Jane, that anonymous woman, he was found not guilty. And on the transportation of Jane as a he was found guilty. And shout out to NBC News because they're giving us live updates from the attorneys as well as the prosecution. Now, they stated that Combs' attorney asked the court to release Combs from federal detention, where he has been for nearly a year. Now that Combs is no longer charged with trafficking, his attorney asked that he be released on the conditions of home confinement and offered $1 million bond. Now, the prosecutors rebutted and said that they asked the judge for him to remain in jail until his sentencing, and the prosecutor asked the government to seek about 20 years maximum for Combs. Now, the fact that he was charged with only 2 of the 5 counts, more than likely he's not going to get 20 years. I don't know what he's going to get, but this week we're going to be going through basically all of the legal eagles so they can determine what is the adequate sentence for his 2-count charge. Now, if there's any more updates, if the judge is going to release him out on bond, I'll let you guys know.
The reason Diddy was not found guilty on counts 2 and 4, which is trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion of Cassie and Jane, is because the world doesn't believe women. True. And they don't believe that women have the right to say no after they've already said yes. The 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, also known as the Mann Act, didn't just include Cassie and Jane, they also included the male escorts. You following me? Now, I'll be the first to admit, Jane's testimony throughout this whole trial was not that solid, okay? It was a little bit shaky, and I'm not saying I don't believe her, but I can see how the defense team poked holes in her testimony. But you can't convince me that people watched the video of Cassie trying to escape from that man, running literally to the elevator. He drags her and then tries to drag her back into the room. And they didn't think that she was being forced to participate in things that she did not want to participate in. There's no way that you can tell me that people read text messages of Cassie directly saying she didn't want to continue to participate and testifying to the fact that she had UTIs and infections and was still forced to engage in offs, and you did not think that that was trafficking. Jane testified that the offs were happening so often that she got infections. Yes, you heard me correctly. Infections. They also read text messages of Jane telling Diddy that she felt like she was a like, what are we talking about? The world is not as progressive as people try to make it seem. And I already know that people who have not been following the trial closely are going to say that Diddy did nothing wrong and that he should be allowed to be free. But that's because they don't care about the truth. And listen, I'm not the judge or the jury, but I'm making a speculation.
Listen, I hate to be a know-it-all. I just happen to be right 99% of the time. And I've been saying that Diddy was going to get off. That was a sham trial, in my opinion. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, okay? When Cat Williams said, when Diddy wants a party, you have to tell him no. He wasn't talking about these personal parties that we heard about in this trial. As soon as it became clear that this trial was about Diddy's personal stuffs, it was very obvious to me that Diddy's a Fed, okay, in my opinion. And okay. Kanye has said that before, and I believed that version of Kanye. And in that moment in time, I think that he was telling the truth. He also said the same thing about Corey Gamble, who was there the morning that Kim Porter died. Why was Corey Gamble there? Anywho, I think that they wanted to punish Diddy for some reason. I think that they wanted to publicly humiliate him, but this was like some sort of smoke and mirrors. Now, if you remember, when the producer came out with his lawsuit against Diddy, he was talking about large parties where there was blackmail operations going on, where people were being and then videotaped without their consent. Diddy also got tipped off that the feds were going to arrest him, which I thought was very strange. And listen, you can argue that Cassie was groomed. I believe that Cassie was groomed because a 19-year-old with that sort of power imbalance, like she had no chance in hell. However, it seemed to me that everybody that was involved in those offs were consenting adults. Okay, they were consenting to some freaky ass shit, but they were consenting to it. As soon as Jane Doe went up, it was like, this trial is going nowhere, because it's kind of impossible to prove that like any of these people were like doing this against their will when they were all being paid and there was this much communication about it. And all this to say that it goes to the larger point that this was never going to amount to anything. And I do want to say, like, people always say I hate on celebrities. There's like really no celebrities that I hate besides Diddy. I've thought Diddy was corny since I was like a young child, okay? I was always on Suge Knight's side. I'm just saying.
I don't care what nobody say it, but that's what money do. That's what money do. And it's just so sad because the fact that it's innocent people really sitting down in a cell for things that they never did. And it's clear as day, it's been too many victims, so much proof that Diddy is not innocent. And the fact that he is not sitting down is wild to me. The fact that they really let this man off. So you tell me, you could pay anybody off basically to not sit down and do the time for the crimes that you have committed. We're talking about hotel surveillance. We're talking about actual testimonies. We're talking about housekeepers from hotel rooms stating like, this is what went down, this is what happened. And still he can't get put away. I really pray for these victims because honestly, if they end up missing, we're going to know exactly who did it. Mm-hmm. And this is honestly so sad. I don't even know what to say.
Y'all gonna hate me for saying this, but Diddy being found not guilty, that's how this should have gone. Because the only thing the prosecution proved was that he's an absolutely horrible human. We knew that. They proved that he was a very boy. We knew that too. Nothing that they told us was stuff that we didn't already know. However, nothing that he did was illegal in terms of a RICO charge. Now, had they charged him with DV, had they done that, then yeah. That's what they should have charged him with. But they wrapped this up in a RICO charge that y'all know was not really RICO. Because the stuff that they tried to pin in with the RICO, well, he used his business for nefarious means. So did our president, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Oh, okay. Really, honestly and truly, the prosecution, they bombed this case. The second they put Jane up there on that stand, I said, these people, they just playing. They playing in our face right now. Because Jane was originally Diddy's defense witness. So how did she go from his witness to theirs? Bottom line, he should have been found not guilty. Technically, he should have been found not guilty on all of the charges. That doesn't mean I support Diddy. I support what's legal. Had they actually charged him with the correct stuff, good. Throw the book at him, put him up under the jail. I don't even like men, so it's not even like I'm doing this because of him. No, but charge someone with the correct thing, because if it was you, you would want to be charged with the correct thing, right? Okay.
Also, while I'm ranting, pray for the victims and the people who went against Diddy in this trial. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I just talked about it in my last video. This dude is an egotistical douchebag. It would not surprise me at this point. He feels like he's above the law. And low key, I can understand. He just beat the feds. Like, bro, y'all that just went against him, 24-hour security. 24-hour. Like, Cassie, 24-hour security going forward. Everybody that went against him in this trial, because this dude is not right upstairs, bro. He's not right upstairs. He's literally probably plotting on threatening to have something done to y'all right now. Like, it's not gonna be safe for the victims, bro. And I feel the worst for Capricorn Clark, because from what I understand, she's just like a normal working person. She don't have no $30 million settlement like Cassie to have 24-hour security and to be safe. A dude like him that is not mentally right upstairs and is the devil himself damn near. Like, bro, yeah, I feel very bad for the victims right now. And your life is possibly, most definitely at danger at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and sugarcoat it like everybody else. Y'all that went against Diddy in this trial, yes, your life is now officially at danger. Like, y'all better get some security, bro. I ain't lying, because, yeah, if y'all, like I said, if y'all thought he was the devil's son earlier today before the verdict, he's officially the devil now. No bull.
Mr. 96-hour essentially got off with a slap on the wrist. Now, granted, P. Diddy could still get up to 20 years in prison. Odds are, because from my understanding, this is his first offense, he probably will only get probation. But folks, this is just some advice I have for all of you. To women, it is incredibly important that you have discernment about who you get involved with. No matter their status in life, position in life, always have discernment about who you get involved with. Because the justice system may not always save you and may not always grant you the justice you deserve. Number 2, a guy like P. Diddy, with the amount of wealth and fame that he possesses, getting off essentially scotch-free the way that he has will only embolden him. And to summarize my thoughts here, it's only a matter of time that he's going to slip up again. And when he slips up again, because it will happen, justice will be served.
If you were one of those people that needed the court to tell you that Diddy is guilty, please stay away from me. Because we all watch Diddy assault Cassie on camera in a public location. We all watched it. And we saw not one, not two, not three, multiple people who were victims of Diddy because they dated him or victims of Diddy because they worked in his employment. All share similar experiences of coercion, of intimidation, of blackmail, of trafficking, of using his position of power to isolate his victims. And these are people who have no relationship to each other, who talked about how this was the culture surrounding Diddy for decades, in and out of the music industry. So if you were going to get online because Diddy was only found guilty for 2 out of the 5 charges to now claim that the industry is out to get him and that P. Diddy was always innocent, please sit the hell down. Because you're the same person that always wonder why women don't come forward, why enough women are not speaking up against the violence that they experience, because this is the type of reception that they would receive, not only from the courts, but also from the court of public opinion. It is not safe for the vast majority of women to come out and point the finger at their perpetrator. And someone on Thread said it best, that while Cassie or Diddy may not see your hot takes, the women in your life will. The women who are victims and who are afraid to come forward. And now you've indicated that you are not a safe place for them.
Diddy being found not guilty on federal racketeering charges is not proof the justice system finally did right by black men. It's proof that power protects power even when it's wearing black skin. Let's be real. Diddy had a legal army. Lawyers who beat RICO cases, who make judges lean back in their chairs and rethink law. Meanwhile, the average black man in this country gets a public defender drowning in 200 other cases and is pushed into a plea deal before he even understands the charges. So no, this wasn't justice. It was class warfare in a courtroom suit. He walked on trafficking, walked on racketeering, but found guilty on 2 Mann Act charges for transporting women for... That ain't vindication. Racketeering, the kind of charges they used to bury poor folks under the prison. But Diddy had elite lawyers, PR teams, jury consultants. He didn't walk because the facts saved him. He walked because capitalism gave him a sword and a shield. Don't let them feed you illusions of progress. Most poor black men would have taken a plea before jury selection even began. Don't have $10,000 for a pretrial expert? Too bad. Can't make bail? Sit your ass in county jail. Get hit with multiple charges? They stack them until you fold. This is how capitalism punishes poverty and protects wealth, no matter your skin color. This case is not about whether Diddy is innocent. It's about how justice is a product for sale with tiered pricing. And if you can't afford the deluxe package, you don't get due process. You get processed. This system does not defend the poor. It does not defend the working class. It does not even pretend to. Diddy just had enough money to rent temporary elite whiteness. If you're clapping for Diddy's acquittal, but silent when your neighbor's nephew gets 12 years in prison for some bullshit, you missed the point. Until every man, woman, and child can walk into a courtroom and actually have a fair fight, not just the rich, not just the famous, not just the ones with Grammys, then this system remains a plantation with marble walls. If our liberation is limited to celebrities, it's not liberation. Real justice means abolishing class justice. It means free, competent legal defense for everyone. It means dismantling a system where the wealthy can erase their crimes while the poor get erased for theirs. It means understanding that freedom is inseparable from class struggle. Justice doesn't need another celebrity acquittal. Justice needs abolition. It needs radical funding for public defense. It needs community courts. It needs to burn down the idea that justice only belongs to those who can afford it. Because if this is what justice looks like with $1 billion, imagine a nightmare for the rest of us.
Regardless if Diddy goes to prison or not, this verdict sent a very clear message that men like Diddy can commit acts of violence against women, and 12 of your peers can stand there and witness it and then do absolutely nothing. Sadly, none of us are surprised, not the victims, and certainly not the individuals outside the courtrooms spreading all over one another in celebration. When women choose civil suits instead of criminal suits, this is why. America has shown us once again that no woman is safe. A convicted felon, guilty of was elected as the President of the United States of America after saying that it was okay to women by the you-know-what. We cannot keep ignoring these blatant messages. During Me Too, I asked, Me Too, now what? And there's still no answer, because our justice system still refuses to take a blatant stance against individuals who commit acts of violence against women and children. One more point that I want to make. As a survivor who now works as an advocate to end violence against women and children, this Diddy verdict is traumatizing. For victims and survivors everywhere, this verdict is just one more reminder that the justice system fails to protect us. So today I pray for courage, strength, and resilience. Stay safe.
Please go ahead in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. For me, during this entire news about Diddy found guilty on this count, for me personally was a shock to me, because with the amount of evidence that was there, like I was very sure that people coming out to testify and all that, like I was very sure that he was going down. But now looking on the tone on how things are going now, for me, it just really scares me and bothers me. If a place like America, that is the land of the free, the land of justice, the land of democracy, we can have things like this where people like Diddy can walk away. You can imagine what is happening in places where we know the corruption is corrupting and how things are just literally plainly see. And the fact that now people are speaking up and in his defense, and when this whole trial started, everybody was like really silent and all that, and now all of a sudden, including some celebrities now, are speaking up on defending Diddy, on speaking up for Diddy. For me, it just like Okay, that just shows that there are more monsters out there that still does not see how a lot of these women are victims. And people talking about how these people that testify against Diddy should get security. I really think so, because we know, we even with the alleged allegations that went around talking about how Diddy was the one that unalived Biggie, how Diddy was the one behind Tupac, allegedly. What is beyond this man? Because if this man can do such devious things and get away with it, what else will get over it? And people also coming with the ideology talking about how it could be a fed and all that. I think at this point, I'm not even going to move it past it, because why go through this elaborate everything and then not found guilty? Who pressed the button? Like, how, when did this transaction happen? Because this is just so sad. And as a woman, especially as a black woman, it just puts the thing more into perspective on how, as women, we need to protect ourselves. We need to be very, very cautious. We need to be careful. We need to just keep spreading the word, empower each other, so that we don't be in a place where men like Diddy take advantage of us, where we cannot say no after we say yes, where we constantly are in a place of fear. I see a lot of young girls, oh yes, I'm getting the bag, I'm getting the Birkin bags and all that and all that. The truth is that the capitalization and patriotic system are always going to fight against women, especially black women. So as black women, we need to now start clocking it. We need to start empowering each other. We need to start telling each other the truth. When, especially as women, especially when it comes with a dynamic with relationship with men like Diddy. Because a lot of the time they show you all the glam things and all that. And you see a lot of girls wanted to be Cassie so bad. Back in the days, nobody had an idea of what she was going through. But a lot of the time, these girls that are involved on things, this is not victim blaming. Nobody should get me there. They usually show just the glamorous part and don't show you exactly what they're going through. Ladies, the best thing that can ever happen to you is for you to put your head down, do the work, and get your own man. And I know that these men are predators. We need to start supporting each other, because this just really breaks my heart seeing how this case went. I'm shocked. It just shows how generally the world as a whole has failed women. And this is why women will not come out. Women cannot. Imagine these ladies, that all the victims that testify, if they know this was going to be the result, why would they even testify? Really, why should they even testify when nothing will be done? And even how are they even going to... Honestly, this is crazy. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Go ahead, share your thoughts. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see. And that'll be supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.